Thanks for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsey Smith, barely here with Saul, Bookman, and Espo. Guys, this one snuck up on me.
Yeah, I did.
I thought we had a 7 p.m. tip-off tonight, but apparently it's 6 p.m. Thank you, Saul, for texting me and letting me know that I'm late.
You're welcome. We were all sitting here, we're like, damn, usually Lindsey's here 15 minutes before we start. I wonder what's going on. And then, of course, we all sat around and waited until 5 minutes till we finally were like, we should probably call her.
Oh, yeah. We went, maybe she thinks it's a 7 o'clock game. Oops.
Ooh,
I'm usually the one that walks in like 2 minutes to the show when we're remote.
I know, right? How the turntables. Well, we're here, and so are the Suns and the Houston Rockets. Tonight, these two teams are going to face off. And, of course, the elephant in the room that we have to talk about is the fact that the Suns are going to be without Deandre Ayton tonight and for at least a week because of that ankle sprain that he suffered on Friday night. Is this concerning to you guys?
No. I mean, if they reevaluate him in a week and they're like, give him another week, then I'm going to start to get a little concerned. But a week with a twisted ankle for a big man seems like it's not that big of a concern. I mean, it's a tough week that he's going into. We've got, 4 games in 6 days. So that'll be difficult, but you deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah, I feel like he picked the perfect time to miss a week because it's a brutal little stretch right here for this next 7 days. So, well, hopefully he gets healthy and comes back soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have a smidge worry only because not for DA himself, but for the team, just because they were finding really good rhythm with one another. We were seeing really great progress out of this team, chemistry-wise, the bench as well. I'm a little bit nervous that we might have to mess up our bench rotations and whatnot to compensate for not having Deandre in. But we did get confirmation just a minute ago from Gerald Bourguet, who is down at the arena, that Bismack Biyombo will be starting in place of Deandre in. And that makes me feel a little bit better because now we're not taking Jock out of that second unit. We're not screwing with the chemistry that they're building and growing in that unit. So we shall see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I assumed it would be Biz that gets a start. Quite frankly, he's a better pairing for CP3 because CP3 likes to throw the lobs. Biz has that bounce a little bit more than Jock, and you don't mess with the second unit chemistry that you've seen. Plus, Jock's been helping, campaign like we talked about the other night. The one guy I'm worried for is if we go a week and Dario is still MIA, with a big man being injured, it's over for him in Phoenix. He's done here if that's the case. If there is no minutes for Dario or two garbage time minutes like we've seen him play this season, he's done here.
If he doesn't get in tonight, that's it. You don't have to wait another few games. That's it tonight. Like you have 2 centers that are going to play. Dario should get a little bit of run. I mean, Bismack found some minutes when DA and Jock were in the long day. Yeah, I don't know why I was brain fog. It's been a long day. So listen, if Dario doesn't get in, that's curtains on his time here, I'm sure. Whether that means trade or I don't know what else they could do, maybe release him.
Do you guys think he's hurt at all? I've seen a couple people in the comments over the last few shows ask if we think Dario might actually be hurt and they're just not sharing that information with us.
Technically, they have to share that information if he's not playing. So he's not on the injured list.
That's true.
Yeah, and you're doing him a disservice if he's hurting and you don't say anything, because then there's all these questions for him that aren't necessarily fair if he's hurt. So I don't think he's hurt. Pugs and Hug says mentally or physically. Like maybe, going through the birth of a child, we don't know, if there's any, there could be complications or different things. I mean, maybe it's something like that, but I don't think that's the case. I think we're just looking at Dario doesn't have a spot here, and he's likely going to be dealt at some point when they find the right kind of trade.
Austin in the chat asked, did they announce the starting center already? Yes, Bismack Biyombo will be starting tonight. I just don't understand why Dario's not getting any play. If we don't see him tonight, I would assume Gerald and all the other reporters down at the arena would ask that question. I know they've brought it up a couple times, and Monty has mostly dodged answering that question with any substance behind the answer. It's more just like, oh, it's just a matchup thing, or he just didn't fit our scheme tonight, or whatever it may be. But I feel like if DA is going to be out for a week or potentially longer, this is the perfect time to test what you have with Dario and see how he fits in chemistry-wise with this team. Obviously, they're seeing it at practice, but they haven't seen the real live full game thing.
Maybe Dario just doesn't have a good role on this team right now. That bench unit is a little younger, a little quicker. Jock, I think, does a suitable job of trying to be as versatile as a center can possibly be. And maybe Dario just doesn't have a great fit in either lineup right now. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if he was a really, really good player, he'd be finding minutes. And for whatever reason, he's not finding minutes. So the Suns don't see something in him that maybe some of the fan base does. And they're probably looking at trying to trade him. They've probably been looking at trying to trade him, to be honest with you, at this point. Same thing with Jay Crowder. They just can't find a suitable, option to do it because every team in the league knows you're trying to trade an asset. So they're going to lowball you until they are forced to have to, really give up assets for them.
Well, I think Torrey Craig's play and how good he's been really forced their hand into not playing Dario at all. If Craig had struggled whatsoever, I think they may have given Dario a chance in that backup 4 spot, but Craig hasn't. And then they want to see what they have with Josh Okogie, who's another guy who's played minutes at that spot. It's been sparingly, but that's another reason why you're not seeing Dario at all. So here we go. We're going to learn a lot tonight and probably on Tuesday as well when it comes to that rotation.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So in addition to Deandre Ayton being out, let's look at who else we're looking at on the injury report for tonight's game. On the Suns side, Ish Wainwright is still out with that low back pain. On the Rockets side, Eric Gordon is out with a right groin injury. Bruno Fernando is out with left knee soreness. Ty Washington Jr. is out with a left knee sprain. And Jabari Smith, who was questionable coming into tonight's game with a right ankle sprain, is available to play. We found that out pregame. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as the injury report and who will not play. In addition to that, a few more tidbits for tonight's game. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but if you haven't already, happy birthday, Devin Booker. It is his 26th birthday. He's growing up right before our eyes, you guys. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 8 years since he walked in the building. I mean, he was 18 when that first season started. So
it makes you feel old, don't it, Espo?
Yes, but I was 30 when he walked in that door, and pushing 39 now. So
yeah. Well, we did get a cool note from the Suns. I know this is something that we have been paying attention to. That's my doorbell. Apparently, somebody's here. I don't know. I'm not anticipating anybody being here, but apparently somebody's here. But we're going to ignore that for right now. Devin Booker is 6th on the list for most points before turning 26th in NBA history with 11,363 points. He is only behind, in order, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, and Kobe Bryant. This is something that we've actually been talking about for quite a few years now on Devin's birthday. How far up that leaderboard can he get before he turns a specific age? And he's always been towards the top of the list, which is a huge accomplishment for him and something that I feel like oftentimes we take for granted maybe or just gloss over a little bit. But I thought it was worth mentioning here on tonight's show.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get 25 a game easily for the rest of his his prime. There's no doubt about that. So how far can he creep up? I mean, before he hits 30, I'd be surprised if he wasn't in that, the top 3 of that little list.
Yeah, I mean, he's smoldering when it comes to his ability to score, but I think by the end of his career, he'll be ringing that doorbell to be in the top 10, top 15 of scoring if he keeps it up. I mean, he's a hell of a player. When you get a head start at 18 to get it going, because that's the common thread there. When you look at that list that you said, they all got early starts on their career, most of them starting when they were 18, 19. So that's why they have so many points by the time they're 16, or by the time they're 26. 16 would be impressive. 26. And that's why you don't see a lot of the older guys who went to college for 4 years on that list, because of time. And that's why I think some of these younger guys like Devin are going to push into that top 20 of all time scoring just because of longevity.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm distracted. No, they're just chilling outside my window. I think it's like a salesperson or maybe somebody coming by because the election's coming up just to remind you to vote, something along those lines.
Do we need to call help?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for real. Like,
I'll text you guys after the show's over and we'll see if they're still hanging out outside the house or not.
One really awful way to end the stream.
What a great way to go viral, right?
Oh
gosh.
Jeez.
I'm just kidding. Maybe it's early trick-or-treating. I don't know. Do people do that who have kids? Do you go out on the weekend before to trick-or-treat?
No.
Trick-or-treat. We want all your cash.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, this is a gun. It's a real one. No. Nobody goes trick-or-treating on a non-Halloween night. And if they do, they're subject to the type of answer that they would probably get from me at the door. Like, what the fuck are you doing here right now, man? It's tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. It's like I haven't even bought candy yet. I'm way behind on my schedule.
Yeah, trick-or-treaters on October 30th is like opening the door and seeing a koala in underpants. It makes no sense whatsoever. All right.
Oh my gosh, that was so random. I do have a question for you guys about tonight's matchup as far as the big men go that I forgot to bring up when we were talking about DA and Bismack. But I know the Houston Rockets are really good. I believe they are at the top of the league in offensive rebounding. Is that something with DA out that you think could be a potential Achilles heel for the Suns tonight? Or are you not really worried about it? Because we did see on Friday Bismack come in when DA got injured and just crush it on the boards.
I actually think you might be in a better place with Bismack because Bismack's out there to do two things, get rebounds and then, run to the rim on pick and rolls. Those are the only two things that he's out there, and he does them incredibly well. So I don't think you're going to lose a whole lot on the rebounding front there. You might actually gain a slight bit because his load is much less than what DA's is usually running the defense and trying to be an integral part of the offense. Bismack's just not going to have to be that. So
no, I mean, you come into the game knowing that Houston's a very good offensive rebounding team. So, I tend to agree with Espo. Listen, the Suns were having issues with DA in the lineup sometimes rebounding. Tonight, they should be fine. The Rockets are they can shoot, they can score if need be in a game, and they got a lot of young youth on that team. But this is a game where the veteran experience should just pretty much take over, and they should cruise.
All right, cool. Let's talk about how we feel about tonight's game overall. Who do you have winning tonight's game and by how much?
I got Suns by 10. Pretty simple.
We'll just go in order here. I've got Suns by 11 and Gerald has Suns by 12. How about you, Lindsey?
I've got Suns by 13. Look at that. Another perfect waterfall. 10, 11, 12.
We prices righted that shit. Everybody one up to the other person. So look, this should be an easy game. I mean, I never like to say that in the NBA, but it's Houston. They're not good. The Suns have proven how good they are. And unless they fall asleep at the wheel tonight, they should be able to handle this Houston Rockets team.
Nothing's ever easy in the NBA, so.
This is true. I have a concern about tonight's game. So it's one of two ways. It's not really a concern. It's just I feel like this game could go one of two ways.
They can either win or they can lose.
Yes, but more on that would be that either they want to go to Devin's birthday party, this iconic annual Halloween birthday bash that he's had for the last handful of years. So they put it away early, take care of business, and wrap things up quickly and easily. Or they're so excited to go to Devin's birthday bash that they get a little too ahead of themselves. Things go a little sideways, and then it comes down to the wire.
Are we sure this is tonight? Did you get your invite, Lindsey? I'm waiting on mine.
No, but it makes the most sense because tonight is his birthday. They'll probably have an off day tomorrow or a later practice because this is a tradition he's done for so long. And then they have a game on Tuesday. So it wouldn't make sense to have a party before a game. But
Lindsey, you mean to tell me, both of you guys, you mean to tell me that both of you worked for this organization and you didn't get the connections necessary to get us into the said Halloween party? What is wrong with you two? You got to start networking better than you have. What is going on?
Let me make this very clear. If I was invited, there's not a chance in hell I'd be telling you anyway. So
this is true. I would probably be the exact same way, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, well, cool.
And it's not just you, Saul. That's just everybody. It's a low key event.
I'll see you there, Lindsey.
No, Espo, first of all, I know you're lying because even if you got invited, you probably would have told Devin,
go.
oh, I got to put Ro to sleep before I can. The missus won't let me leave the house.
See, that's the beautiful part of it. Since it's late, that doesn't come into play. Ro's already asleep. I can go. So,
Espo, you still use it as an excuse. Come on now.
Well, just to you, Saul, not to anybody else.
Just like all the time.
Can't come to that work thing. Sorry.
Oops,
They're watching, so watch what you say, Saul. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Espo, what do our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app think about tonight's game? How they feeling?
I'm guessing that they see this as pretty easy, as we all do. They say 12.5, so it's right in line between you and Gerald tonight, where they see it.
That's not too shabby of a line in favor of the Suns, that's for sure. And that's why for our DraftKings picks of the game, I took the spread because I think the Suns, that's why I picked 13 over that 12.5 that Vegas and DraftKings have cooked up on their line. So I think the Suns are going to cover tonight. And that's minus 110.
What is with Saul and I making the same bet?
Dude, I put my shit in there way earlier.
Today Espo got his in before you, Saul.
Espo's wasn't even that.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Check the receipts, Saul.
I'm checking them right now. This is
you
bullshit.
should. I was the first one to send stuff at like 9:30 this morning. Yeah.
He was way on top of it today.
Mine was at 9:29, so whatever.
By the way, what is this bet that Gerald has here? I feel insulted. We've went over my feelings about birthday posts on social.
I feel like, let's put that graphic back up real quick. I feel like the odds for Gerald's pick of Espo tweets happy birthday to Booker at a minus 45,000 is probably like, those are better odds than I would have imagined, to be honest with you.
Ain't a chance in hell I'm tweeting it. I'll just DM him.
Yeah, and that's
8:51 a.m. Saul 10:23.
What the
Suck
fuck?
it, Bookman.
What the fuck? I mean, what are the chances? You and I didn't even see yours, so I didn't even look at it. I was like, okay, cool. I saw the thumbnail and I put my shit in there. I was like, oh, I got ahead of this 8 hours before we start. I thought I was on top of it. Got the same damn picks.
Tell me you don't read the Slack messages without telling me you don't read the Slack messages.
No, I saw you put his stuff in there, but I did not. I assumed that there's no way we would have picked the same thing, so I just went ahead and did my thing.
You guys have been picking the same thing since the season started. I feel like 3 out of the 5 games we've had, you've all picked the same thing.
Saul, did we just become best friends?
No.
Lies. You've already been best friends. Don't even play.
I'll give Saul credit. At 8:53 this morning, he was prepping for the tailgate show. The man was working. Lindsey, we know you were asleep, and I apologize if the message woke you up. But Saul was slaving over a hot a tailgate show there. So
I had all my elements in last night. I was good to go. I was prepared for today. Emma,
don't worry, Espo. I got notifications silenced on my phone for Slack until 9 a.m. I was more prepared than that. I knew that you and Saul were morning people, so I had to get ahead of that before it became an issue for me.
Not by choice.
No,
Not by
I feel you.
choice.
That's why I text her.
Rude. All right. Well, happy Halloween almost. Happy Halloween Eve, you guys. Obviously, we mentioned Devin Booker's birthday tonight, and at least allegedly, I don't know, I'm guessing that he's going to have his Halloween bash tonight because we've seen it in years past. And obviously, we've gotten some really good Halloween costumes from his teammates in previous years. My favorite one still by far is Deandre Ayton going as Pennywise, because I don't know of anything more scary than a 7-foot tall Pennywise. I thought that was pretty awesome.
To be fair, he could have been a 7-foot anything, and he still would have scared the shit out of a lot of people.
This is true, but Pennywise, for me, I can't even watch the movie It now because it scarred me so much as a child.
He could be a 7-foot SpongeBob, and people would still freak out. So
true. So I want to know, what would be the best and or worst costume that any player on the Suns could roll up in for Halloween?
Okay.
The worst would be rolling up as Kyrie.
Oh, I got you beat. The worst would be rolling up as Tristan Thompson.
Oh, no.
I don't.
If
they're
Kendall's
awful.
there,
They're awful for two very different reasons.
I thought this was going to be more playful than what it has become at this point.
I don't know what you think.
Okay.
Like, it's Espo and me. Why would you think this was going to be like some innocent thing?
If Cam Johnson rolls up as Jay, that might be a problem.
Oh my God, you guys! I can never trust you to take these things seriously.
I mean,
how do you take dressing up for Halloween seriously? It's a ridiculous premise.
Also, I didn't know the question before you asked it, so that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Again, tell me you don't read the Slack without telling me you don't read the Slack.
I tried to find what it was, and I was like, I don't know. This is too much shit. I'm just going to fucking just wing it.
All right. Fabio has a good one. Scott Foster would be a terrifying costume. Specifically for Chris Paul. So if one of his teammates showed up at Scott Foster, I feel like Chris Paul would have issues with that. But it would be
How about showing up as the disgraced future former owner? That might not be a popular costume this year.
That might not be too great. Fabio also said Jay's Halloween costume this year is the Invisible Man. That's a burn.
Do you think Monty's ever dressed up for Halloween?
That's a good question.
Monty does not strike me as a guy that's like big on the dressing up.
Yeah, I think he would. I mean, hell, if Bill Belichick would dress up for Randy Moss at a Halloween party, then I'm pretty sure Monty could be convinced to dress up for a Halloween party too. He wants to show the guys, hey, I'm with you.
You know what's so crazy is Monty's got the personality that makes me feel like he's had it. Like, I know it's not true, right? I know that when he was younger, he probably had a completely different personality, like majority of human beings. But Monty just strikes me as the kind of person that's always been this guy. Like, even when he was young, he had an old soul, was very thoughtful about his answers. Like, wisdom and all that kind of stuff was something he sought after.
Or is that Monty's costume?
I saw a little glimpse last year during media day between him and DA that was just like it was colorful, and it was like the language that was being used. I was like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
So I know he has that side to him, which is cool. But honestly, like, I don't know. I think Monty, for who he is and the things that he has gone through, especially during his time in New Orleans, that probably does something to you. Probably,
yeah.
You know, it probably centralizes you a little bit more, and you're less apt to take risk or maybe push the envelope a little bit, if you will. But you know, who knows?
Saul and I are actually going as Monty and DA for the post game, and we're just not going to talk to each other.
Oh dear Lord, I'm so excited for this post game show.
That means the only person we're talking to is you, Lindsey. I'm not sure you want that.
No.
What was the best costume you guys had as a kid?
I didn't get to dress up for Halloween as a kid.
Oh, what's the best costume you had as an adult?
Edward Scissorhands.
All right.
This guy right here.
I'm not going to tell you what the best costume I had was, because I didn't really have a great one, but I'll tell you what the worst one was.
What's the worst?
The worst one was my mom said that I was an atom, and basically all she did was tape a whole bunch of fucking inflated balloons around a trash bag, and that's all I wore. I walked around the fucking neighborhood with a bunch of balloons, and people would ask me, "What are you?" I was like, "I don't fucking know. I'm 5." My mom was like, "Oh, and my mom's deaf, so she couldn't tell them. So I'm just like, what the fuck am I?" She kept saying I was an atom, and I was like, "What the fuck is an atom?"
I don't know what that means, though.
My
Mom.
name's Saul, Mom, not Adam.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mine, as a, I was like 7 or 8. My parents put me in a box with the hole cut out. My head was out of it, and on it said Gregory's grape juice, and it had a straw, like a plastic PVC pipe that looked like a straw, and I loved it. And I've always wanted to go as Espo or Greg's grape wine or something as an adult, because of course I've matured since I was a child. So.
Yeah. Until the first time you walk up to somebody like, "Hey, you want to taste me?"
Don't take it there, Saul. Why you always gotta make it so bad? Why?
Because I know your reactions is gonna be so fucking. You're just gonna be so angry with me, and I kind of like it.
Can we just have one game?
Is it a game? Is this a game?
No,
one
saying
show, one game.
No, Linz. That's just it's
No.
just who I am.
now I'm gonna have to be careful where I put the spigot for the wine box. All right.
Dear Lord.
Jeez, Saul.
Okay, with that, we're gonna say goodbye.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
We have 1
27
minute
minutes.
until tip off, so we gotta say goodbye. Plus, I'm
All right.
not ready to go down any more of these crazy Halloween rabbit holes with you two. Right
Well, we
now.
might not.
We're
See,
just-
we might not
just
see you in the post game though, Lindsay, because who the fuck knows who's outside your window right now?
We'll see. I guess.
Or
you
if
guys
she
will just-
remembers that there is a post game.
I totally had forgotten that somebody had knocked on my door, to be honest with you. So I guess it'll be a surprise. You're going to have to show up after the game to find out if I'm here or not. So
Want to play a game?
that's what we're doing. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Bye.
Bye.